Obviously, the USC loss stands out as being maybe a little tougher, but can you maybe break down kind of what happened in those two games?
Well, I thought we were actually playing pretty well the first half of the UCLA game, and we're having a tough time at the start of the second half, and that's something I've got to work on. We've been working on here, when you're playing teams in this conference, they're too good to have a lull like that, especially right at the start of the second half. But in the USC game, I thought we came back from that lull real well, just came up a little bit short. So, if we can put together two halves, be consistent, what I've been talking about all conference season, we'll be okay.
So how do you teach that or coach that in terms of avoiding digging yourself into a hole?
It's a tough one because you really can't practice that until you get to it. But I just try and keep the guys very positive. I want to keep them very focused on sticking with their fundamentals, because if you stick with your fundamentals, you fall back on that rather than the excitement of the game or the letdown of the start in the second half, whatever it may be that's causing it. And you hope that you can correct it. In the USC game, I just called an early timeout, and then we went on an 18-2 run. And if we could have done that using halftime as the timeout, we'd be in better shape.
Now, the ending of the USC game, so back and forth, it was certainly entertaining. How do you avoid letting that become like a back-breaking type of loss?
You don't. It's hard. You don't know if that ends up being something that affects you long term until you get to the long term and look back and say that affected us. I don't think this team is built that way. I think all these guys work hard every day, and they know that there were some opportunities there that we didn't take advantage of. So as long as you can point to the reasons why things are happening, I think that kind of helps you dig yourself out of it.
Now, obviously, you said you weren't able to enjoy the trip to the inauguration as much because of the two losses, but what were the positives from that trip for you?
Oh, I was being a little facetious. I mean, it's so much of a bigger magnitude than anything else that I could participate in, and it's just an honor to be a part of it. It's humbling to see the amount of people who come out and celebrate the president at the inauguration. And this time around, Steve, as opposed to the first time, it was such a whirlwind the first time. I didn't really get a chance to enjoy it. I went through the process, and then all of a sudden it was over. This one, you could we were able to sort of take stock in what was happening, and it felt really good to be there.
Did you see your photo bomb?
I did. I didn't see it till I got back here, and the guys showed me. And I just wish I had done that on purpose, because that really looks like a real good photo bomb. But they just caught me from an angle. It looked like I was, looking off somewhere while they were trying to shoot the president. But it's somebody asked me, do you mind that people are making fun of that? And it's like, absolutely not. I mean, it's good for Oregon State, and it's good for our team.
Did your sister or the president say anything to you about the rough start to conference play at all?
Oh yeah, the president said, life's full of ups and downs, and when you deal with the things that he deals with every day, it doesn't seem so big. And I love the way he just sort of shrugged it off as life, and so I came back a little bit more energized. But my family is extremely supportive, and they wish we were playing better and winning, but they know that I'm enjoying myself, and we have a good team that they've met, and they're more wishing that these guys can get some wins just for their sake more than my sake.
Last one for you, Coach. Tonight, Washington, the keys for you guys, advantages, disadvantages of the matchup.
Yeah, they're a great offensive rebounding team, so we got to keep them off the board. Secondly, we got to get back in transition defense. They like to push the ball very similar to what we do. And then thirdly, we got to make sure that a guy like Wilcox, who's the leading scorer in the conference, one of the leading scorers in the conference, doesn't go off and, just absolutely torch us. So if we can handle those three things, I think we'll be in good shape.